Hey folks, how are you? I'm doing this video because I think it's important, and it is why most guitar lessons fail. Not because of the teacher, not because of the student, but most guitar lessons fail, and this really applies to online tuition. Now, they fail because knowledge hasn't become musical. Okay, so what I mean by that is this. When you go to a guitar tutor or a music teacher, whether it's online or face-to-face, they teach you the knowledge of music, and that's what their job is, to teach you, either to read music, but they're coming from up here, which is absolutely fine. But what happens is this, is until that knowledge drops down and becomes almost unconscious and becomes what I call musical, it's still just knowledge. And if you're not taking knowledge and applying it, then it doesn't stick. And this is having worked with so many students in my time and seeing their struggles, because what I see with students is this. There's a lot of students who can't transcend knowledge into feel. And then there are other students who feel and they just take off and they become incredibly competent on the guitar very quickly. Whereas that student who can't drop knowledge down into feel is still stuck, is still understands the concepts but just can't make it run through the guitar. So how to solve this problem is this. You have to make your practice musical. So once you've got the knowledge, understand, yes, knowledge, you've got that. I understand my scale. I understand my chords. I understand all of this. How do I drop that knowledge into becoming unconscious, muscle memory, rote learning, where I don't have to think? Because this is the problem. When you're trying to enjoy something and you constantly have to think, you actually aren't a part of the music. You're outside of it, so it's not enjoyable. And this is why most guitar lessons fail, is you've got that knowledge, but it's not turning into music. So when you're practicing something, and I did a very short session on this on scales, is practice your scales as give them life. Okay, give your knowledge life, give it rhythm, and then what happens is this, that sticks, and you're no longer thinking about fret position and fingers, and you're thinking in a musical way. You've taken knowledge and now you turn knowledge into music. Another example of doing this, you might be, beyond scales and into electric or acoustic, doesn't matter. But put open strings. I've got videos on this, is drone notes. So I could say, well, I'm practicing a scale now, okay? I'm practicing a scale up here on that 9, 10, but I'm putting a drone note to that scale and a chord, so I'm playing out of a chord. A bit more advanced, but the same thing applies, is I'm making my practice musical. You see how now that's enjoyable, and you're actually focusing far more on your practice and your playing than you are if you're just learning In this example, I could say, oh, there's a chord. I'm going to learn a chord. Oh, I've learned a chord up there. Okay, but why not learn a chord and a scale and an open note? Now, this isn't going to be applicable from from your very first, I'm learning a scale. Again, I'll go back to a music teacher. He's teaching you the knowledge of music. A good teacher will coach you and push you in a direction that inspires you and that brings the music out in your practice. So that is what will make your lessons, no matter how you're approaching it. I'm not saying that YouTube doesn't work. I hope it does, because I'm using it. I'm not saying that there aren't great teachers out there. But here is the approach that a lot of students take, is they'll go, I want to learn. They see something on YouTube, screaming guitar solo or someone finger tapping, and they think, I want to do that. And then they go and they watch this video, which almost sets you up for a fall, because the person in that video has done a hell of a lot of practice and they've turned their practice musical. But if you're still in knowledge, if you understand your scales and you can execute them and move up and down, but you're not putting them to anything, then they don't drop into feel. If you would like to understand and learn more about this, you can book a free introductory session on my website, which is in my bio link. I do a lot more than just teach knowledge. I coach and mentor anybody who wants to pursue music. So, my philosophy is I want to bring the unique music inside of you out. So I put all of my teachings into feel. That's the way I learn, and that's the only way I teach, is take the knowledge. Yes, we've got the knowledge. Let's drop that down into actually doing something with the knowledge. So book a free introductory session. Let's work on a lesson plan for you, whatever it is you need. Book a session. It's all free. It's on my website. I hope that was informative for you, and I'll see you next session. Bye-bye.